You're watching Just TV. Watch Just TV on Meta TV, NCG Television Network, or www.justfm.ca. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for turning in. And I am incredibly excited for today's conversation because our guest is someone who truly embodies what it means to be a global storyteller. Born in Afghanistan, raised in the Netherlands, and now making waves in Hollywood, she breaks a breathtakingly rich perspective to her craft. She is a dynamic actress, host, and dancer who has worked on some of television's biggest sets, from Homeland to United States of Al. But beyond her impressive screen credits, she is an artist who uses her platform, her formal theater background, and her unique multicultural worldview to change how stories are told. Get ready for an amazing conversation. Please help me welcome to the show, Sitara Attaie.
Thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much, Neil. I should actually respond with a phenomenal introduction about you, Mr. Prodigy himself, being able to play how many hundred plus instruments international in different languages. So it is my pleasure to be here with such a wonderful artist yourself.
Oh, thank you so much for the intro. I appreciate it. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Excellent. Well, I have heard a lot about you, and I want to talk about your early life and journey. So, where were you born, and what moments from your early life, moving across cultures from Afghanistan to India, the Netherlands, and now the US, played the biggest role in shaping you as an artist?
It's such a wonderful question. So I was born in Kabul, Afghanistan, and we went to India one time for a visit to my family there, and I was already madly in love with everything India, from the colorful clothing to the sweets to the food to, of course, Bollywood, the music, the movies. So when I went there, I was ecstatic. But that was just on a small vacation. Then when we went to actually move there, I realized that this amazing thing about Indian schools, which was the curriculum included classical dance lessons for girls, an hour a week, and cricket as well. So for me, that was like, yay, gonna get better than this. I loved it because I love to dance already. I think I was a born dancer, born artist. We were constantly in our household because my parents owned an electronics store. There was always filming, videography, movies. We lived in a big joint family house, so lots of evenings with movies and lots of videography. And it was also a service they offered other people, so I was very comfortable in front of the camera, but also performing in front of the camera. And that kind of helped me throughout my insane journey of life, I should say. Because after India, we also lived in Thailand for about 6 months. And
Wow.
then, yeah, that was the only interim where I didn't get to use my art. But once we moved to the Netherlands, which was a completely new country, new language, new people, new ways, values, norms, and everything. It was very difficult. It was a very hard time. I was a young child who had to figure it all out. And the thing that helped me, and even when I moved to the US, even more so, by that time I'd cultivated it fully, has been my art. Art in the form of dancing, acting, theater, but also something else that I got to express once I was in Hollywood because there was such a big demand for it, which is voice acting in different languages.
Wow. That's nice. And you are known for like your incredible skills, like speaking like multiple languages. I mean, more than me, like from Dari to Farsi to Pashto, Dutch, German, Hindi, and Urdu. So, did learning so many languages early on help you read people and develop your empathy as an actor?
1000%. You hit the nail on the head. What learning languages and having to live, not visit, but live within different set of cultures and countries and geographical locations and climates helps you really expand your vision as a human being. You literally become a better human being because you learn so much about the condition of humans, what it means to be human, how we all bleed the same, we laugh the same, we hurt the same, we feel the same. We may look differently, our hair color might be different, eye color might be different, skin tone might be different. But the one thing that is common in all of us is we're all humans, just tiny little tweaks, and each culture has its own different nuances, little sensitivities and things. So as a human being, you expand not just with each language, but with each cuisine, with each way of clothing. Like if a country is very cold, you're just going to layer up. If you live in beautiful Cali and it's beach weather, it's going to be hot all day, so you want to wear the minimum. So so you learn so much in life. You really learn, not necessarily by, which I have read a lot of books and I have studied, but more than what you can study in books and in schools, you learn through living life itself and experiencing life that way.
Wow, that is a very well explained answer. Um, when did you first realize that performing, whether through dance, theater, or storytelling, was your true life's path?
Early on, I think in well, in the beginning it was all, as a hobby, and I just enjoyed it. And everybody, what made me realize is the fact that I felt so much joy in performing that it was infectious to the audience. They felt elevated by my performance. The first time I experienced this full fledged as an adult was when I was performing with a live band. I was the classical Indian dancer for the Jungle Warriors. It was a band in the Netherlands. We used to tour around Europe, most of the European countries. And during one of the performances, I realized the audiences were going kind of like making these movements as if they were in some kind of a trance, because it was world music. So there was a section that was African music, a section that was South American music, and a section that was Indian music. So when I saw that, and this is while I'm doing my classical movements and I'm telling a story, and they're really coming with me and on this journey while I'm telling the story with my movements and eye movements and feelings, them joining in and making the movements made me aware that, oh my gosh, it's really infectious. We are in this together. It's almost interactive. It's not just the audience
Oh.
viewing, they're participating, they're taking part in this. And it was like we became a collective whole, the ones on stage and the audience there, we became one. It was just a miraculous experience, really.
Nice, nice. And what was that band's name again?
The Jungle Warriors, led by
Jungle
Jan
Wars.
Kuiper in the Netherlands. They're actually still active. So it's a band, but then one of their projects was the World Groove Project. And within that, the Jungle Warriors was combination of different artists from around the world: tabla players, sitar players, a didgeridoo player from Australia, all kinds of, yeah. It was pretty phenomenal. I think this is coming up because of you, because you're such an instrumental musical person. I barely talk about this in my interviews, so this is interesting, but I love it. I'm going with the flow.
Wow, that's nice. I mean, like, it's great to hear, like, so many cultures combined together in music. It's very interesting to hear how it gets created together. Very interesting. So about your craft, before breaking into Hollywood, you earned, I think I saw that you earned a BFA in theater and trained in method acting at the world renowned Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute. So, how did rigorous formal training reshape your approach to your craft?
So my BFA was from the Netherlands, and there I participated in theater, and I was Miss Groningen, which is a state in the Netherlands. I was also doing lots of on TV work. Back then, it was like a happening thing. I did this TV show called 12 Gear 12, then on Vera, which is a TV station there. Then I did Missin, and that was more like a reality TV show. So I was already very active on Dutch TV. But then when I moved to the US, um, I started at the Lee Strasberg because I had seen all my favorite stars, which were Bollywood stars, and they would educate about Lee Strasberg. And it was a wonderful experience, but that was just for like 6 months. The thing that truly transformed me as a human, outside in, also physically, and made me learn how to freely express was um, 9 years of Meisner training at the Actors Workshop with Rob Adams in Orange County. That really got me out of my shell. I love Rob. He's this mad person, insane person, but he really got me out of my shell. He like literally broke it, and fiercely. So my core training has been Meisner, where I learned to listen, not to what people are saying, but listen to the silences, listen to energy, listen to the behavior that tells you so much more than whatever dialogue is written on paper. And then after that, I started with Diana Castle, the amazing, mystique, mysterious, I call her a magician, Diana Castle at the Imagined Life. And she helped take all of that to a whole nother deeper level where you go inside out. And that transforms you to levels that you're not even aware is possible for you as a human being. It's insane. It's insane because the craft of acting to me is the craft of being a human being. You learn even more so what it means to be human. Like, how do you react in a situation where something happens to you right there and then, and you've never experienced it before? You need your imagination to be a hero killing a, non-existent evil thing. And at the
Wow,
same time, you need to also be very present and listen, aware, and learn what it's like to, again, be human.
interesting. And like from your answer, I think you know, like we as people, we also act in everyday lives. Like for example, like when I'm at home, I am acting
Yeah.
calm. But like when I'm doing it, like I don't know, working on a project or performing, then I'm like acting as a different person. So
Yep.
yeah, that's already in our real life. And does having a great acting coach makes a better actor, or is it from the actor itself? I'm just curious.
The mentorship, I've always, so I used to also be a teacher myself in the Netherlands for junior and senior high school students. I used to teach them English in
Oh,
the Netherlands, and I also was a dance instructor. So I've always loved my teachers and loved to teach because I do see value in it. I've seen value in teaching as well as being taught myself. But acting is the reason I believe, because even the top of the toppest actors, many of them continue their education because there is downtime. And that doesn't mean, because acting is not a craft you learn and then it finishes, then you get your degree, you're done. It's ongoing because it's about being human. You can't, stop being human. Okay, I learned about being human and I'm done. Because it's ongoing, the training helps, it cultivates, it's like a muscle, you keep training it. And more importantly, it's joyous, it's fun. You're doing these scenes with another person, you get the opportunity to put yourself and this person in such emotionally challenging situations that you learn about yourself, truths that cannot be uncovered any other way.
hmm, that is
I'm going
interesting.
deep, am I? On the podcast already.
Deep, yeah.
But that's who I am, man. I'm just being me. This is who I am. I don't do anything
Wow.
surface level. You've seen as much as I have in life. Hey, you do right, you do it deep or you don't.
Wow, that is very deep. So alongside acting, you are a deeply accomplished choreographer. So how does your relationship with body movement and dance influence how you physicalize a character on screen?
So for it, it kind of changes very drastically location wise for me, or the geographical location of where I find myself. Up until the end of my life in the Netherlands, it was a lot of physical movement in combination with expressive emotions or acting. And also when I would perform a Bollywood song, you know how Bollywood performances are. You're lip syncing the song, you're not actually singing it, but you're doing the dance movements. And I've always loved the classical movies, the old school movies, the Devdas and Umrao Jan, a few to name. And when I would perform in these, my performances would not hit until I would emotionally invest myself and really give it my emotions. Now, when I moved to the US, I had to cut that off. I had to split it. And I had to learn to be still and find truth in my performance through stillness. So when you have a monologue and you have to really hone in, or you have a very intense scene with, for example, Claire Danes in Homeland, it's very still, it's very deep, and it's very involved and committed. So in that sense, movement, unless you are actually standing and leaving, there is not a lot of movement. So I had to learn not to move as a choreographer dancer when I'm acting, which was, again, which I learned through Meisner, because then you are focused on, your focus shifts from that to the other, to listening to everything that's happening. You're listening to the body movements of the person or people you're sitting with. You're listening to the circumstances. You're listening to the energy in the room. You're listening to behaviors. You're listening for completely different things than the music to move to.
Ah, that is interesting, and I never knew that. So you've also worked heavily as a host and journalist earlier in your career. So, how does having a background on the other side of the microphone impact how you connect with audiences today?
A lot. It helps, really helps a lot, because so the hosting is like you kind of take the back seat and show everybody else, right? That is a beautiful way of, again, learning what you perceive. You, when you go behind the camera, so to speak, you learn things that you cannot learn on the other side. And what helped me even early on is I used to have a camcorder, because grew up in the household that I did, and we would always record um, family events for family abroad. I always had the camcorder, so I had to learn. Most of us did. I mean, I sound so old right now, but okay, compared to you, I am. But with my camcorder, I learned so much about being behind the scene, how to get the attention of the audience, how to, the impact of zoomed in versus zoomed out, and all these different things. You really, your again, you see differently. Your perspective changes, shifts from being narrow to very wide.
Hmm. So, do you enjoy most of your time in front of the camera or behind the camera?
In front.
In front. Nice,
Very
nice.
very selfishly, non-selfishly selfish.
I
No,
can see
it's
that
something you
already.
enjoy. What if it's you're when you're born an artist, it's just a way of life. You don't see it as oh, I'm this attention seeker or whatever. No, it's this relationship, love relationship you have with the camera, whether if it's a photo camera or a video camera. And when you have a relationship with somebody, you want to be with them. So I want to be with the camera all the time, preferably in front of it, so we can have that communication. But even if I get the opportunity to go behind and shoot other people, that has a different kind of joy. It's like eating chocolate. Then you get pure chocolate or milk chocolate or a different flavor or Dubai chocolate. It's all very different.
Actually, what is your favorite chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Because
Nice,
it's
nice.
also healthy. It's very delicious and very healthy. And if because I lived in the Netherlands and I grew up there, Holland has like top notch, very very great quality chocolate, and then the dark chocolate especially is very very good. So every time I go visit my parents, I bring chocolate back with me.
That's so nice. So you played an incredibly poignant role as Hasina in CBS, uh, United States of All. And during a season that closely mirrored the real time, heartbreaking events happening in Afghanistan in 2021, what did it mean to you to bring that specific story to a massive prime time American audience?
It's very ironic that my first big booking was Homeland, because my concept of homeland has changed so much through life. Because now I've really learned that the entire universe is your home, and home is where the heart is. And as long as you feel at home within yourself, you'll find home everywhere and anywhere. And then Homeland, kind of similar thing happened where actual events that were taking place kind of was showcased a little bit in the show. And I was like, blown away. It was very emotional for me. It was extremely. And then the same thing happened again with the use of Al, where it's a comedy. And we were really celebrating the fact that for the first time on national US TV, there was a show about an Afghan translator. And we all got to be part of being able to getting to tell the story. And right at the beginning of season two, boom, fall of Afghanistan happened, US withdrew, and the amazing producers and directors, the whole team, went for it and chose to take a different stance and make that first episode of season two without sound, a laugh track, and make it reflect what was actually happening in Afghanistan. That was really incredible of the show to do that. We all were very, very happy and appreciative of them doing this. On the other hand, what people wouldn't see is behind the scenes, we were all, each and every one of us, and there were a lot of Afghans who were part of the show. There were writers who were Afghan, um, um, many of the executive producers, and a lot of Afghans on the show. And we were so emotional. Oh my God, we were so emotional. It was very, very difficult. And it really hurt each and every one of us in our own way. And even for the show itself, unfortunately, after season two, it did finish. So it was very intense, very real. And I as an artist really allowed myself to go there. It's not always easy to go and see these harsh things about life in your country that you were born in, taking place while also showcasing that as an artist on TV. It's not easy, but we did it to the best of our ability.
Wow. And can you take us to the process, like how you got this role and how did you prepare for this role?
Yes, so as usual, you send in the audition tape. But when I got the audition, because I had already read about the show and I was so ecstatic, I'm like, oh my God. I talked to my manager, Richard. I'm like, Richard, we got to see if we can find a way. And then my agent actually did get me the audition for it. The night before, I was going to shoot the audition the next day. But the night prior, I knew exactly what needed to be done, what I was gonna like. I was so excited about it, I could barely sleep. So the first thing in the morning, did my setup, I put everything together, I did my whole what I call Afghan look and all of that. And I was uber excited because on top of the scene itself, which was a short little scene, it was a recurring role that was meant to be built more and more, kind of like most of the Chuck Lorre productions. A lot of the actors are introduced and slowly their roles expand further and further and get bigger. So being the sister of the lead kind of predicted the same thing for me. So I was super excited. But on top of the audition itself, I sent in like a slate tape where I talked about myself. They loved that. The producers loved that. It was a fun one. so so yeah, that was the process. And from, I don't know how many self tapes were sent in, but it was right after COVID, so it was all done from home, all self tapes. And I sent in my tape, and thankfully, a week or week and a half later, I heard that I was selected, and it was very exciting.
Wow, that is awesome. So like, um, when you came to know that you got the role, like,
What happened?
what was? No, I'm saying like, I'm asking like when you got the role, like what was your reaction? Like, Like,
I
were your
was
family
jumping for
excited?
joy. I think I typically, of course, I wasn't like, oh, well, I got it. I knew I would get it. No, you do your best, you send it in, and then it's just life moves on. Then you live your life, and then sometimes you get a call, and sometimes you don't. So when I did get the call, the first thing I always do is go to my husband, hug him, and excitedly I tell him, and we always start with gratitude. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. We are believers, we're very grateful. And I myself, as an artist, am also then happy that my art um, gets to be expressed. I get the
Mm.
opportunity to express it in front of a larger audience. I always feel it's expressed, even when I'm taping an audition and it's being sent in. It is, but when you get the opportunity to actually go and work on set, and you have all the other actors, this whole team, all the crew, and everybody, is just magic.
Wow. So, what level of responsibility do you feel when portraying characters from the Middle East and South Asia, ensuring they are multidimensional, humanized, and free of typical Hollywood stereotypes?
I feel so blessed. The first time I did a Middle Eastern role was an Arabic woman on True Blood, where I am the wife of a vendor owner who is selling the blood of their daughter to one of the vampires. The
Oh.
very, very mean husband is making me do that of my daughter. And like, so when I got that opportunity and I had to speak Arabic, I'm not fluent in Arabic, but I know how to learn it and say it and speak it. So
Mm.
I can cheat it. The thing was that I felt the role is, well, pretty typical. You don't have a say. You're gonna do what your husband is telling you. So I felt like, oh my gosh, this might be something that will keep happening to me, and I'm probably will constantly get roles that will have this stereotypical image of Middle Eastern women. But I'm so grateful that that is not what happened, because it was my wish and desire to get strong female characters, which I got in Samira Nouri in Homeland, because Samira's character is one that is of a courageous woman who is out to avenge the death of her husband, and who is against the corrupt Afghan government in the show, and who partners eventually is convinced by Claire Danes as this character to partner with them and kill the corruption, sort of. So then after that, and then even US of Al, as Al's sister, Hasina, is very well spoken, well educated. She has a clear mind of her own. She's not one to succumb to any typical cultural things that are put on her. So both times I got to represent rightfully women who are very strong, very courageous, and who stand up for their rights. So I'm extremely grateful that if I am cast as Middle Eastern, Afghan, Indian, that I get to actually showcase those women who we need to see more of on screen.
Wow. And as a visible advocate and artist, how do you see the role of cinema and television in shifting global perspectives on refugees and minority communities?
It's finally happening, very slowly, very gradually, bit by bit. But it's happening so much more than it did 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, people are
Yeah.
acknowledging that parts of the US, such as California, New York, are more colorful than they have been depicted so far, and more colors being injected. I did a voiceover for Jingle Jangle, which was one of the first Christmas stories where you saw so many colorful people, Indian people, African American people in London. Those old school, old Christmassy movies, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
colored the way it probably was in reality. And then Bridgerton, fantastic, phenomenal, lovely. So it's happening. It's happening. It's exciting, exciting times.
Wow. So from major television dramas like Homeland to massive feature projects, and you have worked on highly intense, high stakes sets. So, what is the biggest lesson you've learned about staying grounded on a fast moving, large scale Hollywood production?
Adaptability. You cannot, one thinks that, well, you get the sides and you learn and you go and you do your performance. No, it don't work like that. You got to be able to move and go with the flow and adapt to change. Typically dramas, even with Stumptown, which was a great experience with Kobe Smulders. um, the thing I loved about the set of Stumptown is A, it was all green. They did a fantastic job in keeping it all super, super green. B, I noticed that even though it was a highly intense situation where it was about a ex-US military who has PTSD, and she is a female ex-military, and she's struggling and having these flashbacks of her time in Afghanistan. So it was beautiful to see the contrast of how intense the show was, yet how chill the set was. uh, you know, yeah, because Michael Ealy was on it and several other awesome actors, and it was just a very zen set. But when it comes to like shows such like sitcom, then there's constant change and you have to be on point. And like if you have whatever the scene is going to be and you shoot it but it doesn't come across, it's not, maybe it's funny on paper but it's not hitting home, then you have to adapt right there and then. You get new sides and you have to go with the flow. And then if it's in another language, then it's in another language and you have to just adapt, chop chop. It's more quick. With Homeland, the thing was that we were shooting in Morocco, so it was typically I was there for 2 months. So it was a whole adjustment for the first time on location shoot out of the country for 2 months. Boom. I was like,
Wow.
what happened? So it's kind of unsettling because suddenly your life stops the way you know it, and a whole new something happens for a good 2 months. And you're like, oh, what's happening? It's kind of unnerving a little bit. While super enjoyable, it was super exciting, it's also kind of like you tour so much. You tour around different countries, different states. So don't you feel it's a little unsettling sometimes, because your foundation, your core, sometimes you have to leave it for a long amount of time.
Yes, actually, the same thing happened to me recently. For example, with Ali Zafar. So, um, for people who don't know what Ali Zafar is, he is a popular Pakistani singer, and man, he has over 5 million followers on Instagram. I mean, you can check him out. And
You worked in Bollywood movies too with the likes of
yeah, his Bollywood movies. Yes, yes. Like he worked in I mean, I saw his film Kill Dil, which he acted with
Kill Bill.
Govinda. Like,
And his funniest movie is Tere Bin Laden. It's
yes.
hilarious. And then my Mary Brother Ki Dulhan, my brother's uh, bride to be, also hilarious. He's a good actor.
Oh yeah, he is a very good actor.
Mm,
So about how I got to meet him, um, some organizer sent me this flyer of this meet and greet, which was in San Jose, and I was thinking of not going because I didn't have the time, but the organizer begged me to prepare just a few songs for him,
mm,
and I didn't even know who he was at that time. So I
mm.
was like, okay, I'll just find some few songs, and I learned 3 songs in one day, and I prepared in front of him on the saxophone. And those songs were there were Ale and Channo, and there's
Mm,
also the PSL Pakistani anthem. I don't remember what it was, but it was like an anthem song which he sang for the cricket games. And after I performed that in front of him, he was shocked, and he hugged me, and he said like,
mm.
you're very talented, and he asked me, do you want to perform it on the show? And at first I thought I was kidding, and then I asked him like, "Are you lying?" He said, "No." He says, "I'm." He says, "I'm serious. Like, I want you to perform like." He says, "I want you to perform with me." I said, "Sure, why not?" So then after that, I got his contact, and then his manager contacted me and said, "Hey, you performing Ali Zafar," and I performed with him in L.A., San Jose, and also in Dallas, Texas. So
One,
like from
one
that from that one meeting we went,
meet and greet.
this meet and greet, my life just like whoosh, just changed,
Yeah,
from there. And and also I got to like perform with his band. I mean, his musicians are incredible,
amazing.
and
Yes.
I believe you were also there at the LA show, right? When this all
I
this
did.
offer.
I wouldn't want to miss it because his latest big hit is a Pashto song that I grew up loving. So I was like, no, I need to experience this live. And I did, and it was wonderful. And everybody in LA, I saw that some of the concerts didn't have the same impact for this particular song as it did in LA. Everybody went crazy. Everyone went towards the stage, and everyone started dancing around the stage from where they were sitting, standing, all over the place. Everybody was loving it. So it was a wonderful concert. He's a great artist. Yes, definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I remember that time. Like people were like dancing, like they're coming on the stage. It was crazy with that song.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, yeah, and actually, guess what? Just last week, Ali Zafar contacted me again, and he wants me to perform with him in August. So he's performing in Sacramento, where I live, and also
Oh,
we'll be
nice.
performing with him again in Houston, Texas. So
Wonderful, wonderful. So there you go. You're going to be traveling again. You know how it is. Very fun.
yes, now I know how it is. Now I know
Now
how it
you
is.
know how
I
it is. Yeah.
I just got the trailer of it. Okay.
Yep.
Uh, so i- about your career, is there a specific scene or character you have played that uh, demanded you stretch yourself emotionally further than you ever had before?
Yeah. Samira Nuri was because it was a completely different story, of course, than mine, but it was so close to home, and the difficulty that an Afghan girl goes through in life, and all the pressures and all the familial responsibilities, and that was one. But also because of what happened at the beginning of the show US Oval, that one was really a big stretch because while we were working on this fun comedic show, showcasing all the fun things about the culture, we were like kind of like just pushed back to the ground zero and started from scratch again. It was back to the same thing: Afghanistan, war zone, all of that. Strict regimes return that the people are not happy about. I really had to go there, and it's never easy when you have to go there. I am able to detach from it in the sense that, okay, even though I'm Afghan, I'm just depicting a storyline of somebody else. But it was so real because it was happening at the same time. It was so in my face that I even kind of dragged my parents into it a little bit because I really went in and I said, I want to do this justice. I want the cry of Afghan women to be heard loud and clear. And I do not want to lack in any which way on my part, on my, end. And I think I did just that. I really went deep. I soul searched because what happens is also, again, as I said, when you're really going into the depth of your humanism, you have to face things that sometimes are not pretty about being a human. Like another human wanting to kill you for random reasons, acknowledging that that exists is not easy. But you have to. If you don't do it, then it's not showcased and people don't recognize it and there won't be a change. But you have to recognize it in yourself to then depict it, to then hope for the necessary changes to come about.
Wow, excellent. And for new people who are tuning in, you are watching Just TV. Watch Just TV on Meta TV, NCG Television Network, or www.justfm.ca. And today we have our special guest, Sitara Attaie, who is an incredible Hollywood actress. So, back to you. How do you balance working on mainstream commercial projects while staying connected to independent films and projects that feed your artistic soul?
Oh, I love independent projects. I used to have a completely different take on it, but now with the changes we see in Hollywood, in the industry overall, or in any entertainment industry around the world, while some are expanding, others are, downsizing, and others are being created from scratch. There's so much change happening, and then add on to it the arrival of AI and all of those things. it is like a booming time for all things independent. If you We all kind of have been given so many tools that just today I was like, man, I don't know what all, how am I going to juggle all of this? There's so much happening, there's so many things, and I have so much that I want to do and so much more that I want to create, because in the end it all comes down to creation, right? It's creation of a character, it's creation of your voice, it's creation of a part of you that has not existed before. But I love all of them, because you have a little more freedom with independent projects. The commercial projects are more set on in stone, and you kind of have to be available to serve that project. But independent is more, you're more involved, I feel. You have more of a say, you can actually express opinions that are sometimes can be really appreciated and sometimes can really help benefit the project. And I also have several friends who are doing independent projects, so it's really fun to be part of their projects and support them. So I think it's going in the right direction. It will all shift. It's going to have a different face. Things are shifting, but at the same time, it's also shifting for the better, because now everybody can do anything and everything they want. It's not exclusive to a certain elite group anymore. It's accessible to us all.
Mm. Yeah, I do see what you're saying. Like I've seen that, for example, like YouTube now. There's like filmmakers from YouTube who are coming up and also even taking over the mainstream of
Yep.
Hollywood. You know, like also, if you heard of the new movie which came out last month, or this month, called Backrooms, which
Backrooms. Oh
was,
yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
which was directed by this 19-year-old
YouTuber.
director, like
Hmm.
YouTuber, yes, who started in 2021 by making like this random web
Horror
series or
film.
kind of
Yeah.
series, yeah, on
Mhm.
YouTube. And I also got inspired by watching him too, and from now he's working with A24, which is like
Okay.
a
Yep.
big jump,
Huge
so
jump, because because in the end it's about your creation, and it doesn't, and that's what I'm saying, we've all been given so many tools, we can all create. So then it really comes down to your creativity and that which you are creating. Like what you're creating is now of more essence than ever before, because everyone's creating, right? So a whole
yeah.
bunch of nothing is going to be created too.
Yeah.
But but it's a process, it's a learning process for all of us. So then if you really have something meaningful to create, now would be a great time to do it, because it will jump out, it will stick out in comparison to a lot of things that are created that are not perhaps as valuable.
Definitely, definitely. um so even with a highly accomplished career spanning television, film, and hosting, do you still find yourself studying the craft or discovering new layers to your acting technique?
Yes, because again, it is still ongoing, not necessarily in the form of like classroom setting, but more independently. Sort of, what happens at one point is you've absorbed, right? You've gone to classes, you've learned and absorbed and done some work and all of that. So then what happens is you start cultivating your own way around things, and then you learn to actually enjoy the process. So it's not so much about, oh, I get this script and I have to, no, it's more like, oh, let's go on this journey of discovery, let's discover what is in there for me that is going to be something new and exciting and challenging for me to tackle. And then you go on this completely, then every single opportunity is going to be a completely new adventure to explore, versus thinking of it as like a curriculum or a class study or a scene study and things like that.
Interesting, interesting. And what advice would you give to aspiring international or diverse actors, like young women from cross cultural backgrounds who are trying to navigate the Hollywood industry today?
But the biggest thing I would say is, first of all, make sure it's really your passion and you're doing it because you're passionate about it and you find joy in doing it. Because, a lot of times we get so wrapped up in the practicalities of things and what we're told about certain things that we forget about the joy of why we started something like this in the first place. So don't lose the joy, but also if make sure that it's you find it joyful to perform to the, whether if it's acting or dancing or hosting or like is it really enjoyable, then find ways to do it, whether if it's in a classroom setting or it's with workshops or with friends to just do theatrical pieces for people to enjoy. Or I still dance at family weddings when they request of me to do a dance performance. I actually take a whole different wardrobe than whatever I'm wearing that night, and I actually change and do the whole setup and go and do it, because it's still very enjoyable to me to see how it impacts everyone, how it's elevating the energy in the room, how it's joyful. It brings joy to me and to those around me. So always remember to find the joy.
Find the joy. So, looking back at your journey from the Netherlands to the heart of the American entertainment industry, what does the word success mean to you now compared to when you first started?
Oh, what a wonderful question. It is very much in my radar of life right now. What is success? So I used to see it as only this one way of being successful. If you're a massive superstar, then you're successful. If your bank account is at a certain level, then you're successful. But these are the values that we've been told that these are the things that matter supposedly. But then life teaches you that no. If you have so much fame and money that you do not have anything else of value in life, you're going to be miserable. We see many people, going into depression, going into all kind of mental health issues, addictions, and all kinds of stuff. Why? Because there is a lack of balance and a lack of true understanding of, okay, what is success? Success is feeling fulfilled and finding again joy in that which you do in all areas of life. Because if one area is all the way here and the other area is almost non-existent, then inevitably you're gonna have to deal with the suffering thereof. So the other thing is, you can't always look at, oh, what is next, why is the next thing not happening fast enough or big enough or this enough or that enough. You have to also look at, wait, where did I come from? Oh my gosh, I started there and then went there and there, and wow, that is the definition of success, is the stepping ladder, acknowledging it, being grateful for it, because otherwise, if you keep going, 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 then it doesn't matter how high you go, you will never feel satisfied. You will never feel fulfilled enough. You will never have enough. It's like you can have a closet full of brand name stuff, but if you constantly want to get the next thing, the more happening thing, it's ongoing. And anything I learned early in life that is a loop becomes a pattern, becomes suffocating to me. So I thankfully learned that it's like a little manipulative thing of life, that if you fall for that trap, it's a trap. It's not real. It's a trap. So success, by definition of what sometimes the world has told us that it is versus what success really feels like, is, are you happy? Are you peaceful? Are you at peace? And it's a very expensive thing to be peaceful and happy in life. Not only be accomplished, because accomplishment doesn't always have to equal happiness and joy and feeling satisfied and abundant and fulfilled.
Wow, that
I feel
was
like a
some
teacher right now.
really really deep wisdom. Wow,
I know.
I am in Zen
Nobody know
mode.
I'm talking this way today. I know it. But honestly, this whole path of life, it's almost like the meaning of it was not for me to accomplish what I've accomplished, but the meaning was to go within and find the spiritual journey and relevance of all of it versus finding the outer experience. It's amazing, because the challenges that I was met with, the thing that helped me the most was the arts, but also internal wisdom that I gained through meditation and learning about my own spirituality, books, TV shows that talk about these things. It really made me realize, like, oh my gosh, there is so much more than that which meets the eye, even more than art, which was a big awakening moment for me. Like, art is my favorite, it's my love language. But there's so much more than that. There's like the world, but then there is the universe, then there's the cosmos, then there's the Milky Way, then there are universes, and then there are Milky Ways.
Whoa.
Ever thought of
Um,
that? Ah, no.
I've never.
Hey, Neil, what's up? Did I put you to sleep or
Uh,
did I wake you up? Now let's come back to a little more lighter things.
yeah. Um. Where am I? Okay. So. Have you ever thought about opening up your own spiritual class? I think you'll be a great teacher.
I that spiritual class not necessarily, but those who want to tap into more in life, they kind of come to me, and I give them that time and attention, and we go on this journey where I kind of put them on the track, and then it's like a rabbit hole, and then you go on your own. You're on your own. Good luck. But it's beautiful. It's really worth. It's very it's like soul food to me. Like if
Wow.
I don't get some new knowledge about these things every once in a while. Like there are these podcasts that I love listening to now. It used to be Super Soul Sunday, Oprah Winfrey's show, but now
Oh.
it's a podcast by Mayim Bialik, who was on The Big Bang Theory. She has a podcast called The Breakdown. I am a fan. I am addicted. It's amazing.
Wow. Excellent. I think our viewers are really enjoying your Zen mode. So very good.
Who knows? Those who it resonates with will resonate. If it doesn't resonate with you, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
um. So now this is a very interesting question I want to ask you.
Hmm.
If your life journey were adapted into a feature film, what would the title be, and what feeling would you want the audience to leave the theater with?
It is so funny you're asking this question. It is so funny you're asking because today I was presented with several opportunities. I'm not giving the name of the project that is in the works. But when I was 16, I participated in a poetry competition, and I wrote a poem in the Netherlands, in English though, that was called My Life as Long as Eternity. I have no clue how I came up with that at the age of 16. My life as is as long as eternity. And it was up until that point the story of my life from Afghanistan to India to Thailand to the Netherlands. I thought that was the end. Apparently it wasn't. But that would be a good title. My life is as long as eternity. And then I don't know about the emotions, but the soundtrack that I would like in the background that will accompany that perfectly is Hans Zimmer's Time from the movie Inception. That gives you really the feel of my story when I see that young girl going through all the things I went through. It's Hans Zimmer's Time.
Wow. Yeah, I love Hans Zimmer. I got into I got into film composing because of Hans Zimmer. Like his music is just mind
Heart.
blowing.
Yeah, it goes deep.
It goes deep like you do.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you do it right. Like, why stay surface? Like, really go and indulge and divulge the whole thing. Like, really. So yeah. It really every time listen to that or in Wandi, Wandi, same thing. It really like takes you to a whole different world, next level, different realm, different dimension altogether. So yeah, if my story would turn into a future, it would definitely have that soundtrack and maybe some title like Eternity of exploration, of adventures, of journeys. Well, you know
Oh,
that part. That's your
yeah.
division. You make the music part. You compose it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? Um, so for our few final questions, do you have any upcoming projects that we should know about?
Yes, but you cannot know about it because I have signed an NDA. So yes
True.
and no, but exciting things happening, lots of good things in the works, meaningful projects that I'm really passionate about. Again, I love representing Middle Eastern women, women of Afghanistan. I'm very passionate about, advocating for their rights. But there is a side of me that is a spiritual explorer, and there's so many incredible stories and books that have been written that I hope to God will be made into movies and I can be a part of, because that's my other, like worldly passion that I'm extremely passionate about, and I want to be a part of like all these spiritually insightful movies um that I would love to be a part of. So let's see what the future holds.
Nice, nice, nice. I just saw on your IMDb that you have been doing so many voice acting, and I saw one movie which got announced today was Tom Cruise movie Digger, which you're doing the voice acting for. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. So Digger, what a movie that is. Woof. It's gonna be like we I did the voice acting that I did was as a Dutch diplomat. But I cannot tell you in what setting and whatnot because the movie is just insane. It's one of those mind blowing things. It's very good and very it, it taps into a lot of our modern day world.
Hmm.
It's insane. It's pretty insane. It's amazing. And it was an incredible, very energy driven voiceover. Like it was, it wasn't one of those. Sometimes you have voiceover days where it just flies by. It's easy peasy piece of cake. Sometimes there's a lot of energy involved where no, you really give your all. And there was even a lot of one section was a lot of almost like fighting. We had to kind of choreograph the fighting to get the sound effects, and we did that outside of the studio to get the impact that the sound producer wanted. So we went in the hallway to record that portion, and then it was like, giving that sound effect by actually doing the movement. So it was very high intensity. Yeah, you really, yeah. And then to capture the sound of that in a big spacious room, it's a different experience altogether. In my all the voiceovers that I've done, ADRs as we call them, it was the first of its kind.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's going to be a crazy movie.
Well, I can't wait to see the movie, and I can't wait to hear your voice in that movie. That'd be awesome.
Good luck if you can pick that up. I will say salut.
Excellent. We have one question from our viewers who just asked. They're curious to know, what is the most popular actor you have ever met in Hollywood?
I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram. I don't know who's more popular. So I have a selfie with Brad Pitt.
Ooh.
And one of the first ones I worked with was, oh my God, what's his name? From Baywatch. That
Oh,
was,
Dwayne Johnson? No.
no, the other
Uh.
guy, curly hair, the old Baywatch,
Oh,
not the
that
movie,
one.
the TV show. Oh gosh, I forgot his
Ah.
name. Anyway, but Christian Bale, I've seen Leonardo DiCaprio, I've seen Johnny Depp, have a selfie with him too.
Whoa.
I've seen Charlize Theron. Her work in Monster really, oof. So that's why I went to Lee Strasberg, and then I realized, oh yeah, let's make a detour. If you go method and you're going because the movie Monster moved you, then you really gotta be like, no, yeah, that didn't work. um, who else? And then Claire Danes and Kobe Smulders I worked with. Um, yeah. So tons of, but Christian Bale was such an amazing. Oh, and of course, Loverboy from The Notebook.
Whoa.
Yeah, Loverboy was
Awesome.
gorgeous. He's yeah, he's all the things people say, and he is exactly as amazingly romantic, delicious human being that you look at and you're like, wow, he is. Yeah. Yeah. So I've been very, very fortunate, very, very blessed to have experienced a huge, large amount of actors. Because, that's the cool part, the little perks of being a Hollywood actor and living here, because then you get to experience all these different conversations that as SAG-AFTRA actor you get to be part of, and then you see the most incredible actors just talking about their craft. Amy Adams, oh, she's phenomenal. She's so
Mm.
good. Oof, so good. Yeah, so those just to name a few.
Wow. I'm shocked you said delicious to an actor.
Yeah, it's gosh, like I can't even. That's very understated for. Wait, I literally have to do this to justify why I said what I said, because it's about the one and only Ryan Gosling as Noah in The Notebook. You cannot
Yeah.
use other verbiage and, and synonyms other than delicious.
It's like you want to eat them. Yow.
Not in that sense. He is very mesmerizing. He was there with Amy Adams, the director, and other co-stars, and he was talking about and when it was for that crazy Hollywood movie, the musical. I forgot the name. Gosh, that won all the accolades and all the awards. And he was talking about it, but the way he started was just like he would be your friend next door. He's like, "Listen, guys, this light is too bright for me to have this conversation, and can you just turn this down a little bit? I can barely like blink." So when he's this personable and magnetic, charismatic, and very easygoing, it's like, oh my gosh, Ryan Gosling, super starstruck. There you go. And of course, oh my gosh, how can I forget this? Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga when they did A Star Was Born. Oof.
Wow.
So I went to the conversation to learn. The reason I went to these was, getting the perspective of an actor who is already so far ahead, to kind of go there and look back at yourself at this point. And with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, it was very intimate and very, not everybody could get in, but I was blessed to get in. Not only that, they had a Q&A session and we wrote our questions down, like 100 of us. And my question was picked as the first question.
Wow.
So, and I asked Brad Pitt what it was like in back in the days when he used to audition. Oh man, he went in. He was like, "Yeah, those audition days, man. I thought my job was to audition," which is very much the case for many actors who are still in the auditioning phase. So he's like, "Isn't that the job?" So he give a very honest answer. But I was more blown away with seeing Lady Gaga in person sitting right there in front of me. It was a joyous moment. I really thoroughly enjoyed and took it all in because I'm a huge fan of her music and her songs and her authentic, fearless presence. Um, so yeah. Any more
Wow.
questions?
For our last one, if people want to find you or want to follow your journey, where can they follow you?
Yes, absolutely. On my Instagram, it's very simple. It's Sitara, my first name, dot Attaie, my last name. It used to be I am Sitara Attaie, but it was too long and people couldn't find me. So now we made it very simple. First name dot last name on Instagram, on Facebook. I don't have a public Facebook page. I used to have it, but there's just a friends page, but mainly my Instagram page.
Excellent. And you can also find her on IMDb too. So there you
Thank
go.
you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Sitara, for being on the show, and thank you so much for being here. I mean, it was. I mean, I had so much fun having you on the show.
Thank you.
So
Thank
of
you for
course, of
having
course.
me on your show. And it was a wonderful conversation, Neil. And I wish you so much success ahead on your
Thanks so
path.
much. Same thing to you too.
Thank
And
you so much.
to our viewers, you're watching Just TV. Watch Just TV on Meta TV, NCG Television Network, or www.justfm.ca. And this is Neil Nayyar signing out.